This bed in my greenhouse constantly dries out. I have to water it every day. But today we're going to fix that with 2,000-year-old technology and a blue barrel. Hey Provident gardeners, I'm Kylie, and today I have Eric with me from the Thirsty Earth, and he is making my dream come true. So we are installing the Olla system, is that what you call it?
Yeah, the Thirsty Earth Olla automatic watering system.
There we go. And it is going to make all the difference with my greenhouse, because in this front bed over here, it dried out so quickly and it required me to water it every single day. And my original plan was to put drip in, but as I did my research, I just kept thinking there's got to be something better, something that doesn't require me to spend so much time watering my greenhouse. And I found Eric and the Thirsty Earth, and I'm so excited. So Eric, why don't you explain to our audience exactly what the Olla system is and how it works?
So Ollas are an ancient technology. They're found in ancient China 4,000 years ago, Rome 2,000 years ago, and since they've been found in every drylands region all across the globe. What they are is unglazed terracotta clay, pottery. And the porosity in the clay, when you bury it in the soil, it allows the water to seep through the microscopic holes in the clay into that surrounding soil. The plants will basically hug it with their roots and drink what they need. Our modern innovation on it is, if you had a bed that was full of traditional Ollas, you'd fill each one a couple times a week. We made ours so that they're linked with tubing, and you can fill a centralized reservoir. Most of our kits you'd fill it once a week, but you could get, with this one, we have a 55-gallon blue barrel, and that would last quite a bit longer.
And that's one of the things I'm so excited about, is because I can go for a week and a half or so without filling the barrel, but they've done one step better. They actually tied that in with my water source, so I can leave it on. The barrel will automatically fill, and you have a float in there so it doesn't overflow. And so realistically, I never have to worry about watering again. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So let's talk about how you decided how many of the Ollas we needed to put in this bed. My bed is about 36 feet long and 3 feet wide.
So when I was looking at the bed layout and was considering that this is in a greenhouse and it is at the hottest point in the greenhouse and that you're having issues with it drying out. Normally, I would have recommended in a milder climate that isn't the high desert, I would have recommended probably about 36 to 40, but I went with a slightly more dense layout pattern, and we put in 48 cups in that bed.
The whole greenhouse, the integrated passive energy greenhouse, the goal is we're not using anything other than the sun. Right? We're using mechanical processes. I have the earth tubes, which automatically bring the earth warmed or cooled air into the greenhouse, that fresh air, without any fans or without anything. And so the Ollas are the perfect solution for watering in the same way.
And they rely on gravity to water, as opposed to timers, pumps, any sort of electronics that would require batteries or would require grid power, anything like that. Nope, just gravity.
Freedom. Okay, Eric, the one thing that for me, there's an initial investment. And when I looked at the price originally, I'm like, ooh, I'm not sure that I can do that. But there are definitely some benefits that make this worth the investment. Talk to me about that.
One of the biggest ones is water savings. If you're in an environment where, let's say you have water restrictions, you're going through a drought, you have water rationing even, we are about 90% better than drip from the little drip emitters. It'll vary by climate, by plants, like there's all sorts of factors, but it averages around there. We tested it initially with an initial early batch and got that we were 61% better than drip, which is huge already by itself.
Right.
It blew our minds. We're like, oh wow, we really need to go with this, because people need those water savings.
Yeah.
And then subsequent tests, and as we've refined things, it's just gotten better and better over time. With that, the water is seeping out this constant, slow 24/7 seep. So normally you have cycles where the plant is getting essentially drowned for a little bit and then dries out, and then drowned for a little bit and then dries out. Those wet dry cycles, they mimic nature, but they stress the plant out. And we've noticed a considerable increase in growth and yield when using Ollas compared to using other methods. And our best guess right now is that the reduction in stress allows the plant to dedicate more of its energy to growth.
I'm really excited about that because, like in this bed, I lost so many plants to start with. And it was because I was trying to learn how to water and when to water. And in fact, I pulled out some of my kale and noticed that right next to the concrete, it's really hot. And so that soil dried out. So there were no roots right there. They all went to the back of the bed where there was more water, because in this passive energy greenhouse, the thermal mass, the concrete, the intent is for it to be warm, which means that it's wreaking havoc with the watering. So this should take care of it.
Well, you'll probably find as time goes on, if you were to pull one of those cups up, maybe a month and a half from now, you'll find basically a cup holder made of roots. Like they'll have wrapped around it and created a sleeve right around it. And they're just getting as much water as they need, and not more, from being able to drink how much they want. And the plants and the soil, that's a variable thing. It will pull more or less water based on its needs. So it's part of the interaction between the soil moisture tension and this fancy word called evapotranspiration, which is a lot of syllables for plant sweat.
Okay, now one of the other things when I was thinking about this system, you always hear that your plants love sun-warmed water, right? They like water that isn't too cold, not too hot. And I was thinking that this might actually solve that problem too.
Honestly, it's a happy accident of our system. We didn't plan it this way, but it takes so long to seep out of the Ollas. Like the water in one of those kata cups is going to be in it for close to 24 hours as it seeps into the surrounding soil. That means that whatever the water temperature is in your reservoir, whatever the water temperature is in your tubing, it's going to become normalized to the temperature of the surrounding soil before it seeps out.
Now, I'm blessed because you guys came out and helped install all of these. And you know what? They're brilliant. Like some of the things in this design, you guys have really thought through. It's really clever. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the install, because really it's pretty simple.
So when you're installing your Thirsty Earth system, the first thing that you'll want to do is start with placing your reservoir. You want it ideally between 28 and 56 inches above soil level to get the right amount of pressure. You can have it as low as 14 inches above soil level if you're in a moderate temperate climate, not getting scorchers or anything like that. And if you live in a place like the high desert or somewhere where your temperatures go 100 degrees or more over the summer, you want to be closer to that 56 inches above soil level. And that's the water level. It's not necessarily the outlet, that's the water level determines the pressure. The absolute max you would ever want to have would be 70 inches. So place your reservoir, and you might move it up and down a little bit as the season goes on. Like it might start a little lower and go up after spring, or you could just place it a little higher and let it, you lose a little bit of water efficiency in the early spring. It's not a big deal. The system's so efficient, you're not losing much. But then you'll take your Ollas and you'll put them in your bed, dig them into the ground, and place them. And there's something called we call it the cap nut assembly. There's an octagonal cap nut that threads in. There's a 3-inch piece of 1/4-inch tubing that's called the stem. We put a little O-ring on that, put that into the cap nut, and put a push to connect fitting. So we chose push to connect fittings because they make the whole system like Legos. It's easy to pop the tubing in and out of it and change things up, move the location if you want, and it just makes maintaining it so much easier than if you were using barbs or anything like that. when you've got your Ollas in place, your fittings are installed on all the Ollas, you'll plumb it up with tubing, and then you have the cap nuts loose. You turn your water on. It could be a shutoff valve, a spigot, just fill your reservoir. And as that reservoir goes to the Ollas, you do something called the air purge. And so the air purge is making sure that, because this is a closed system, it's sealed. The air that is in the Olla doesn't exclude the water from being able to get in. So as the water gets in, your cap nut is loose, it bubbles up, and then once it starts bubbling up water and you don't have air bubbles anymore, your Olla is air purged, tighten the nut down, and you're good to go.
You make it sound so easy because you're brilliant. But if one of my friends out there is a little bit intimidated and wants to know exactly for their system, if they reach out to you, will you help them?
Yes, I will.
That's what I thought. Okay, so if it's intimidating at all, I will leave a way to contact Eric in the description of this video. Reach out to him and he'll help you out with that because I think it's really important.
You call the number, you text the number, you get me every time. And we've got an email and we have a pretty thorough installation and troubleshooting video, and we'll just be producing more and more.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, now when it comes to maintenance, I'm blessed because in the greenhouse,
right,
minimal maintenance. But talk to me, if I was doing this outside in zone 6, talk to me about the maintenance.
The thing about terracotta clay is that when it's moist, the moisture is in all those little microscopic pores, and if it's allowed to freeze, that moisture expands inside the clay, causes cracking. So in environments where you freeze over the winter, you want your Olla to go in about when your plants do, and then after harvest, you want to pull your Olla out, drain it, and then store it dry for the winter. So preferably somewhere indoors like a garage or a basement or something like that. If you store it outside, you need to make sure it's covered and it doesn't get rained on, because if it gets rained on and then there's a freeze, that could be a bad time.
And you were telling me the box that my Ollas came in is perfect for storing them.
Yep.
Talk to me about that.
So it's a winter storage box that holds 25 Ollas. Our larger kits, our 20-cup kit, our 20-cup expansion pack, and 10-cup expansion pack all include it, or you can purchase it separately. And it's a cardboard box that has slots for each of the Ollas. It being cardboard actually helps with keeping them dry and keeping ambient moisture from building up there, because the cardboard will have a slight wicking effect.
So there you have it. Is there anything else that you think we need to know about this? What did we miss?
When you put in your system, because it's modular like Legos, you can add to it. So you could add, let's say you have a thirsty plant like a squash or a pumpkin. You could add, as it grows, here's a second Olla for that plant. Oh, maybe you're trying to grow like ginormous prize pumpkins. Here's a third Olla. And we sell expansion packs that allow people to increase the size of their garden. A lot of people will get a smaller kit to start out with, have a really good time with that, and be like, oh, I need more. And that's what those are for.
Okay. Well, I'm thrilled to have this. Thank you for you and your team for coming out and installing this for me. And watch, because now this is a part of my greenhouse. So in our videos, you're going to be seeing a lot of the Ollas and be able to see exactly what we think. And if they do what I have seen them do, like when I was doing the research and watching all the videos, I'm like, this is really cool. So I'm excited to see how they do in my greenhouse. So thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
And for our audience, for the question of the day, if you had Ollas, what would you want to grow in there? How many Ollas would you need to be able to make your system so that you didn't have to maintain it, right? Well, I'm still gonna have to weed it. So you don't have to water it.
Oh, it does, because it puts the water straight at the roots of the plants that you're trying to grow. Dramatic reduction in weed pressure.
There you go. There you go. Life doesn't get any better than this. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to get a little bit of dirt under those fingernails and turn that dirt into a delicious dinner. Thanks for joining me in my greenhouse.
Thank you.